Eric L. Beats, friend of the program, he says, outside of the starting five for both teams, who will be the X factor for this series? The X factor, man.
No one on the Cavs, I'll tell you that.
Well, you know what?
Cleveland.
For me on Cleveland, I'm going to go with LeVert, man.
Yeah, he would be the guy.
I'm going to go with LeVert. You know, LeVert is on a hot streak, man. In his last 10 games, he's averaging 16 points per game on 52% shooting from downtown. And he's a guy, we've seen LeVert. He can be a little bit streaky and erratic, but sometimes he can get it going in bunches, man. You remember that game against Boston where he and Mitchell combined for 82 points, 84 points? LeVert coming off that bench as another scorer, a guy who can close. In a Garland with a Garland and a Mitchell back there in the backcourt, I think LeVert is a guy for the Cavs who can be an X factor.
I think it's Quickly. I mean, Quickly's the easy answer, right? I mean, he can come out and win a game on his own. You know, if he plays really well, he come out and win a game on his own for the Knicks. So I think for the Knicks, I think it has to be IQ. Josh Hart's so consistent. You know what he's going to give you. He can help you win a game, but IQ can take over games for swaths of these games. I don't think any other bench player, to your point, LeVert has done it before, but I think Quickly's the guy, and I think the Knicks need him to play well in this series if they want to win it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's Quickly.
Yeah.
It's Quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote a whole article for KnicksFanTV saying why he's the third most impactful player on this team. Sixth man of the year running. Without Quickly for this season, where is this Knicks team? That's just how good he's been, not only offensively but defensively as well. So as John pointed out, he could take over a game. He could do that on offense. He could be a pest on defense. I don't know how it's not Quickly in this matchup. And who's going to be guarding him? Ricky Rubio?
Yeah.
That's food for Quickly. Food.
What about for the Cavs? He did ask on both teams. Who do you think the X factor is on both teams?
Guess what's LeVert, the most erratic player that they got over there? What LeVert are you going to get that night? Are you going to get good shooting LeVert, or are you going to get bricklaying LeVert? Yeah. That's the question. Like, what you're going to get out of Rubio. Cedi Osman, he's an erratic 3-point shooter, in my opinion. And then outside of that, that's it. Who they put at the backup five? Mobley. Like, they split time between him and Jared Allen. So that's like, to me, you're really looking at LeVert to be that consistent guy, that guy who can just score in bunches. And we've seen that when he's off, he can shoot you out of a game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the Cavs. I'm going to go Osman because the way he's looking for Okoro, he may come back this series. He may play game one. He may not. Who knows? And if that's the case, LeVert's going to start. And if that's the case, last game against the Knicks, LeVert was starting and Osman played 22 minutes. He had 4 threes on the Knicks, had 14 points. He was the only guy on the bench with double-digit scoring. And even if Okoro does play, I feel like Osman, he's shooting 37% from 3 this season. When you talk about the Knicks coverage defense, and you would think if there's ever a series that they're going to play that coverage, that drop back defense and drop the paint, pack the paint, it would be against two drivers like Garland and Mitchell, which means a guy like Osman could be a key player for them off the bench in terms of getting 3-point opportunities. He's going to have to make it for them just because the Cavs are just, I'm sure they're probably sick and tired now of talking about how the Knicks bench is so much better than them. He could be a guy that, I'm not going to say balances it out, but at least could keep it on par with the Knicks if he's hitting threes. He took 8 threes against the Knicks in their last matchup. So I'm looking at Osman. And for the Knicks, it's Quickly by default, but I think it's also Quickly because if there's one player on the Knicks that you would tell me who is the one guy on the whole team, even if I include the starters, I feel like who is the one guy that the Knicks just can't afford to implode or to just be bad is Quickly, because Brunson, I have full confidence. Quickly's a guy that all the analytics are on his side. He's plus this with this guy. He's plus that with that guy. When he's on the court, he's a plus. When he's off the court, the Knicks are negative. Like, everything is on his side. He is the one guy that I think the Knicks cannot afford to have a terrible series because he is just that important in any lineup combination that he plays in.
Yeah, he's critical because outside of Brunson, outside of a healthy Randall, Quickly is your best shot creator. And especially in the half court, you're going to need it. You're absolutely going to need it. So I think it's definitely Quick for the Knicks as the X factor. Leading the league in bench plus minus is Quick. And number 3 or 4 is Cedi Osman. So there you go. You just never know. And a guy like that, if he's ripping off, 2 threes in a row, 3 threes in a row when they're at home, those things can shift the game. That can shift the momentum in a game. You just never know. Those are the type of games where role players, assert themselves and become kind of those unsung heroes of the game. So you just got to watch it, man. You got to watch guys like that. So certainly going to be interesting to see how that plays out.